This is like a movie, right? They chased down and rammed. Just watch this. Yes, yes, this is heading where you think it might be heading. Whoa. They rammed the wing of a small plane because they wanted to. They wanted to stop it from taking off. They then seized the plane. As you can see, jumping out there with is that an AK-47? It was filled with contraband electronics worth an estimated $200,000. They arrested the 5 people on board. Matt Potter spent some time with smugglers. He's the author of Outlaws, Inc. And Matt, thanks very much. You know a whole lot about this. I mean, it's a pretty amazing video. What do we know about the smugglers here?
Well, one of the things we know is that, to quote Donald Rumsfeld, there are a lot of unknown unknowns. So the fact is that these are not, if you like, these are not mafia men. These are not tight, kind of controlled families of organised criminals. These are pretty much chancers. They're loose aggregations of people who are. Really, the financial incentives are there for them to try to get away with what they can when they can. They work on cash. They don't have receipts. They'll do, if you like, impromptu bathroom conversions to their planes so that the customs guys or whoever's inspecting them doesn't know, doesn't realise, but actually there's space under the seats for 2 or 3 extra tons or 100 kilograms or whatever of anything you like, really. And the fact is that so long as it's worth it for them to try taking off from some godforsaken airstrip somewhere, and the fact is that most of the airstrips in the world, people don't realise this, a whole lot of the world has no radar and has no kind of customs or no controls at all. As long as it's worth it for them to try it, they'll try it. And
as you point out, a lot of airstrips in the world are godforsaken. You know it, we know it. Let me ask you this, though. This is apparently the 12th plane like this that has been confiscated by police in Brazil. And I know you've done a lot of digging into this. You've also, spent a lot of time with the people who are trying to pull off these sorts of acts. What are the top things that people are trying to smuggle right now? I mean, I would imagine weapons and drugs are still near the top.
Yeah, I mean, well, actually, the funny thing is that weapons and drugs are only near the top because they're so easy. And weapons are easy just because there are so many of them. I mean, the number of Chinese and Russian-made guns and landmines that there are, it's pretty much all profit. You can pick them up for peanuts. So that's the reason why weapons are so popular. And also, let's face it, there's a lot of independent warlords running around at the moment. Drugs will always be popular because there's a huge markup. I mean, I've personally seen sort of if you like, fertiliser sacks of 12 kilos of cocaine being thrown around as if they were fish fingers in a supermarket. But the really high-paying jobs are specialist things. It's not. I mean, these guys, if I understand correctly, they were carrying electrical goods, and that's really. It's exactly like if you'd imagine some burglar running off with your VCR or your DVD player. I mean, electrical goods are pretty much the lowest on the rung there. The highest on the rung are going to be things like people, and that's where you make your real profits. And that means people smuggling, as we're all familiar with, but also the kind of people who want to get in and out of countries on the sly. That also, I'm afraid, includes some of the people our governments want to get in and out of countries on the sly.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. It's a double-edged sword. There's hypocrisy to go around. Tell me the craziest thing that you've ever seen, though, in terms of what was smuggled and how it was done.
Well, I mean, there are plenty, but I think the best thing I've ever seen is probably I've seen household objects, TVs, tables, sofas, etc., that were pretty much parcels of cocaine sculpted to look like household objects. I mean, and that's a really popular thing because the fact is the customs guys in most of the third world, actually in most of the first and second world, they're not paid as much as somebody who's smuggling the things are paid. There's no incentive to do beyond kind of open the door and look in and go, yeah, hey you guys, that's fine, give us a bottle of whiskey, I'm on my way. The fact is, if they see something that they're told looks like, let's say, a divan, and it turns out to be 200 packets of Coke all stuffed together with a sheet over it, nobody's going to complain. And that's like I'm saying that's bizarre, that's unusual. It's bizarre, but it's very common.
Wow. Cocaine coffee tables. All right, Matt, thanks again. We appreciate it.
Every home should have one.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, still out front. Closing arguments just concluded. The Conrad Murray Michael Jackson case gone to jury, and love song.